Hey guys, Colleen from Cultivated Candle Co here, and today I am sharing some fun historical background facts on the vintage Tiara honeybee dish, which has become a fan fave, even though it's rare for us to have. So if you guys have been watching our Instagram stories, we've been featuring these a lot. And these pieces are detailed with bees, hives, and even some greenery, and it's stamped glass. So you can see this a little closer up. We have the bees, we have hives on every side of the boxes, and then also some plant-like details. And even though these vintage pieces are rare for us to have at CCC and with our vintage candles, which is why we have a waiting list, but even though they're rare, they're a fan fave because they are so unique. So like many of the dishes we work with at Cultivated Candle Co, these were produced by the Indiana Glass Company, a very, very popular distributor, manufacturer, producer of different glass pieces when they were really at their peak in terms of production. And within Indiana Glass Company specifically, these guys were produced from the 1970s to the 1990s. So when these Tiara dishes were being produced in the 70s through the 90s, you bought them a little bit different than how you buy things today. So these were actually bought at home parties that people would host for their families and friends to come see the different glass selections that they had. And specifically, the Tiara honeybee design was really, really popular, and I mean, like, obviously. And even today, the bee design is a fave in terms of the simplicity and the beauty within it. So these at-home parties didn't just happen for the Tiara beehive dishes, they happened for all colored glass. It was a thing. Someone would host a colorful dish party, they would invite their family and friends over to showcase all of the different variations they have and show really the purpose of these candy dishes and why they should buy them. And specifically, the Tiara beehive dishes were really, really popular for entertaining, hosting parties, and even just holding them. They're very sturdy glass, so they're a little more functional than your typical candy dish. And as I was researching these specific pieces, it was really fun reading about how they were sold at home parties, because that is so retro. That's not really something that we have that much anymore. So if you went to one of these colorful glass home parties and you saw a beehive dish and were like, yes, I want that, I want to buy this from you, it would have come in a box like this. So pretty simple in the original box. We got a made in the USA and a Tiara exclusive. So within the 29 color variations, there's peach, spruce, sapphire, amber, amethyst, and many more. You see different blues and greens. Like this guy back here is the spruce. So with over 29 color variations, we have had 10, I believe. We have the guys sitting right here, and then also we've had some of these color variations of the amber, amethyst. I love this green. We called this a pink, but it's technically the peach, and then a black. And because of these color variations and because of the way that they were sold, these are highly collectible, very similar to the nesting hens that we've talked about at CCC. So whenever you have a certain vintage glass piece and there are many color variations, that makes it more likely to be collectible. Kind of what we think about when we see different Pyrex patterns and colors. When you have those variations within different pieces, whether they're functional or more for decor, it just makes them more likely to be collectible. And also, the bee candy dishes were very popular and now are collectible because they were a new reissue of a similar product that was produced in the early 1900s. So these pieces were so collectible because they were a reissue of a popular design in the early 1900s with splayed feet. When reproduction of the hive boxes in the 70s started, Only in 1970 was there the reissue of the splayed feet version, which is why this one is incredibly rare. So as production continued on, these splayed feet went away and kind of went to the normal feet that all the others have. So if you have seen a piece with splayed feet, it could be an original from the early 1900s, or it could be the reproduction only made in 1970. Although the Tiara beehive candy dish is no longer in production, it is still in circulation for vintage lovers. And at Cultivated Candle Co, we always love when we get to work with these rare and beautiful pieces. Thanks so much for taking time today to learn more about these beauties.